At the Green Eggs Foundation, they are driven by a shared passion for ensuring that the arts remain a vibrant part of every child's education. They believe that creative expression through music, theater, and visual arts is not just a luxury but a fundamental component of a well-rounded education. These disciplines cultivate critical thinking, foster innovation, and provide students with the tools they need to navigate and interpret the world around them. The Green Eggs Foundation team is committed to advocating for arts programs in schools, rallying community support, and securing the necessary resources to keep these programs alive. They fight because they've seen firsthand the transformative power of the arts in enhancing students' academic performance and personal development. As we face ongoing budget cuts and shifting educational priorities, your support becomes increasingly vital. Whether it's through volunteering, donating, or simply spreading the word, every action contributes to our mission. Together, we can ensure that the arts remain an inspiring and indispensable part of every student's educational journey.
Howdy everyone, my name is J.R. Sparrow. You all knew me for a long time. I'm missing the PT, so I sound a little funny. My tongue keeps hitting my gums like slap, 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 slap. So, going a little while here, we have some fun, amazing people here with us today, and we have a musical guest. Well, they're all musical too. You know, we can play musical chairs if we like. I've got my great co-host over here with me, Stacy. Finally back off of assignment for whatever she does whenever she's in those foreign places of Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina.
Listen, I'm not working in a public place anymore, so it no longer has to be secrets where I'm at.
She's not at Publix in these random ass grocery stores doing whatever she does.
See, I used to work for an insurance company. I couldn't let them know that I was traveling while I was working.
Right. So
now that that's all over with, it don't matter.
And I want to say thank you to the TikTok people, the Facebook people, DGI for doing a nice little live thing. Audio and different things will be fixed here and there by German or whoever else does that. And we have amazing guests with us here. I'm not going to introduce them just yet. I want to say thank you to Rodecaster for being the Rodecaster, because if we didn't have that, we would all sound like shit. Our musical guest, he is from a place that I like to go across when I'm driving. Everybody knows I travel Route 50 whenever I'm going to go to Maryland. I cut across that way. We've got a great artist from Clarksburg. We'll introduce him later. I don't want to give too much about it because I'm getting way too hyped for no reason.
Right, so make sure
Not about him, but I'm just saying, like, right now, he's a great guy.
So make sure you stay for the whole episode.
Right, and one thing I do want to throw in here, shout out to his mom for coming out here with him and being very inspirational. And I like her hair. I do want to tell you, I do like your hair. All right,
And
so
can you tell us where we're at? Or tell them where we're at?
we're at Birds Donut.
Bird's House of
Bird's
Donuts.
House of Donuts, I'm sorry.
In
Yeah.
Elkins.
Yeah, Elkins, West Virginia.
And you'll catch a little snippet from the owner here probably at the end of the
At
episode.
the beginning,
Beginning?
always,
Okay.
we've got a lot of different things going on. It's a lot of different production. When you're doing a live show, it's way different because, you know, right now we're live. We're all just sitting here doing whatever. So Stacy, you're going to be the host today. So can you introduce our guests?
Well, again, I'm Stacy. Obviously, y'all probably remember me. If not, then go back and listen to what I have to say. So this is all news to me, so I apologize for
No, it's
everything.
okay. We're here.
I do know we have Lisa,
Yes.
and you are like the founder of the Green Egg. Is that, or
Yeah.
the Green Egg? What is it called? The Green Egg.
The Green Eggs Foundation.
The Green Egg Foundation, because you are the founder.
Yeah.
And then we have Jordan. And how are you brought into this, if you don't mind?
I was brought in like towards the beginning of the project, and you know, Lisa and I both agreed that with everything that's going on, you know, we wanted to make sure that music stayed alive in the community as much as we could keep it in the community. And I knew there was something I really wanted to get involved in.
Okay. Will you flop tops and mics? Because I think that's the one that cuts out. Yeah, even if you can keep that fuzzy thing on it.
Yeah, you're good.
Because if his information gets cut out, I don't mind. I want to make sure yours is there
Gotcha.
100% because you two have very important messages to get across, and that's basically what we're doing here today. Is we have a lot of information, so make sure you stick around for the entire show. If you can stay with us during the entire live, we would greatly appreciate all of that as well.
So
So basically, you guys run this together.
We actually have a board.
Okay.
That's
They're
a small
official.
group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're official.
It's a small group of us.
Gotcha.
We're currently in the process of all the red tape and the paperwork, but all of us have the heart for this.
Okay.
So we all came together, and this is where we're at.
Okay. And I know JR likes to throw this at the end, but I want to do it at the beginning, and then I'll probably ask you again somewhere in the middle, and then at the end, because JR loves this thing called a shameless plug. So,
Yes.
anybody that is listening, if you can hear me on TikTok and Facebook, if anybody would like to make any type of donations, or if they want to help out, what is the best way to do that? Like, how would I be able to support you guys?
Right now, we can take personal donations. We're going to be at various tables at other conventions and activities throughout the state. So definitely stay in touch with our Facebook page. We do a really good job of keeping it up to date with that. Once our 501c3 comes back, we will have a donation page where you'll be able to donate your own money towards it. If you're a business and you want to sponsor one of our programs, or when we talk about Elkins Fright Night, if you would like to sponsor one of the acts or something along with that, get in touch with us. We'll
Okay.
figure it out.
So the acts that go in with that, these are local
Yeah.
groups and stuff like that you guys bring in, artists basically to help get the notoriety, right?
Yeah, this is our first big fundraiser. So
Okay.
this show was actually birthed last year, and when we get through all this, it'll make sense. But a lot of these acts personally believe in the cause, personally want to be there, and they're just great.
Okay.
So let me
remember,
clarify
that
that
is
real quick.
the Facebook group is the best way to contact them, and remember, it's the Green Eggs Foundation.
In Elkins, West Virginia. So let me tell you how this relationship started, this friendship here. An email.
Yeah.
An email. Yeah, just sent something an email. How did you find this? Like,
I actually went on Google and I just searched West Virginia podcast, and I went down through the list and I came to you guys, and I was like, that's how I contact them, email. There were other podcasts reached out to. Haven't heard anything, but that's okay.
wow.
That's okay.
And you get that, so that's not to discourage anybody
No.
from reaching out to a podcast, because, you know, sometimes it could take a little bit longer for somebody, or maybe it's listed on the site and they're no longer active, but that's not to discourage anybody that wants to participate in any of that stuff, so just shoot your shot. You
Yeah,
might
yeah.
as well, because we wouldn't be doing this if she didn't send that email.
Right. So from there on, we had a correspondence. It was weird. Like we have two different separate emails, and I write in one sometime, I write in the other one, and we got this coordinated. Found a good weekend for them because they're very busy people like us, and this was the greatest weekend, Mother's Day weekend.
Yes.
Shout out to all the moms and the dad moms and any other type of variation of moms that are out there that consider themselves moms or that are moms. We love you all. So this is what got me. As a kid, VH1, you remember VH1?
Yeah.
They had the Save the Music program.
Yes.
When you told me what you had going on, I had to go back into my mind's eye and put on my Star Wars gear and become a Padawan. I wasn't even a Jedi. And I remember, Save the Music. It was a crucial effort that revitalized music in the mid-90s and helped with the schooling and different things like that. And then it disappeared. No offense to VH1, I know it's still around, but everything on Viacom, which audience, that's MTV and whoever else, BET, whatever, there's no true strong support for artists. There's no true support for someone as yourself. You leave high school as yourself when you left high school to like encourage you to go get into the music scene. You know, when we were coming up, you could go to Austin, you could go to Nashville. There were places that made sense to go to make music. It's not like if you're an actor. An actor, you know, you go to Hollywood, New York, or Atlanta. You
Yeah.
pick one of those places to go. With music now, in your time, SoundCloud was something that was on the rise.
Oh, SoundCloud.
And then now, and as quick as SoundCloud rose, it fell.
Right.
So seeing these things that have happened in the music industry that trickle back down to the elementary parts that get you to where you're in the music industry, that's what made me very compassionate for what you all do. And what I would like to ask you two real quick, I'm sorry, I won't hit the table a lot, people. Is this one thing, like this is just off topic. Can you tell me what your first musical inspiration was between both of y'all? Like what got you hooked into music? Because it was something like, I'll be honest with you all. If it wasn't for Michael Jackson's Thriller album, I would not have a great appreciation for all music. Did y'all know that Eddie Van Halen on Beat It?
Yeah.
Paul McCartney on that album.
Yeah.
And then people behind the scenes that did different things with it, and even later on with Slash, doing things with Michael Jackson. I mean, I was a pop guy. So that led me on to listening to lighthearted music like Air Supply.
Right.
And then I got into
R.E.M.
heavier.
Speedwagon.
Yeah, R.E.M. Speedwagon. And then I got to the hair bands of Whitesnake, and then when I got older, you know, MTV as a teenager, like that's how I learned about Guar.
Oh,
yeah.
Later on in life, you know, I learned about some these guys here. And we did our Sublime and all that other stuff. And we had a music culture that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You had real concerts, you had bands that performed in places, you know, you actually heard music. We weren't from the punk era, we didn't get that great music, but in our time, rock music, pop music, and a little bit of rap and country were the thing. And
Yeah.
now, I'm not saying anything about the quality of music, but the quantity of quality music has gone down.
Yes.
And that's why with what you guys do, that's how I feel about it. Like, you're going to bring the quality back to music.
Yeah, we're gonna try to. We're gonna try our best. I mean, thinking back, a lot of my music started with my mom.
Okay.
Listening to old '90s country, so we were listening to Randy Travis and Garth Brooks and singing around. Yeah, I know, singing around the house and cleaning. But as I got older, I'm gonna say it was around 4th grade. I discovered Blink-182. Country didn't stand a chance.
What about no country? I always ask people about this one artist. What about Dwight Yoakam?
Oh, I love Dwight Yoakam. I still adore him. I still catch him when he's out live. Can't beat it.
That's an artist if you like country.
Yeah. So once I discovered Blink-182, from there it just went on and on. I'm more into the indie side of things now.
Okay.
So Modest Mouse,
Okay.
Radiohead. You know, that's where I'm at. He's completely different.
Yeah, we're polar opposites. Like my mom, I grew up listening to like Matchbox 20, Michael Jackson,
Rob Thomas.
Rob Thomas, and you know that I like the real like emotion that got put into the music. It wasn't just making noise and hoping it sells. They were like, this is what I have to say. Listen to it or don't. You know, and I really liked that. I mean, growing up, you know, I was involved in choir and band through school, and you know that really brought on like my passion for like wanting to be a performer and you know all that kind of stuff. And like now I sit down, I can listen to anything from Queen to War.
Yeah.
You know, my music tastes are all over the place. But I think if it wasn't for my mom introducing me to music with substance, that I don't think I'd be as passionate about music as I am.
All right, so one more thing. I'm sorry, I'm taking over the show for a moment. One last thing. Now, I want to name an artist, and I want to tell you, I consider her a complete artist. I want y'all to think real fast. Sorry that I'm taking over for whatever. Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill album.
Oh,
That
Alanis
album,
Morissette,
yeah.
my mom lived with Alanis Morissette playing 24/7.
I think any female during that time lived in that album.
What about you, Stacey? Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill? No?
I mean, it was all country in my household.
Oh yeah, but y'all don't listen to Dwight Yoakam.
I couldn't even tell you who that is.
See, the biggest thing with me, and I'm horrible for this, unless it's a specific artist that I know, I don't tie the song and the artist together. Like, I'm awful at that. Like, you can play a Taylor Swift song and I know that it's her. You can play a Tim McGraw song and I know that it's him. But with the newer artists, like, I know the names, but to hear that song, unless I've heard it a few times, I can't be like, oh, well, that's Jelly Roll's song. That type of thing.
Yeah, see, that's kind of the way I am. I can hear a lot of stuff and I can recognize it, and be like, I have no idea who that.
Right.
I can't tell you who that is.
Yeah, it's like, I know who this is, and once it's over with, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, I remember that's what their name is.
Right.
And like I said, I am awful for that. Horrible. But I find an artist that I would love and really enjoy that I'm going to recognize all their songs tied to them.
All right, well then I'm just
Does
like
that
too
make
technical from y'all.
Well, I mean, you are, and that's very well known, and anybody that's listening to this episode knows how you are and knows how your memory is. I can tell you something today, and you're going to remember it 10 years down the road and be like, you remember that one time we were in Elkins and you made me mad? You're going to remember that. Yeah, why the heck did you park in this spot in front of the Dollar General instead of over here? You're going to remember that because you have that memory.
Okay. Okay, I'll go with that.
So are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. The first one is hard.
Oh goodness.
Can you take us back to the moment the idea for the Green Foundation was born?
Yeah, for the Green Eggs Foundation.
Yes, Green Eggs Foundation. Yes.
This all essentially started with the death of my husband. A group of people, amazing people in the community, decided to put together a show. And for that show was to benefit me and our son, Memphis. And I had no idea that it was going on. I had no idea that it was being planned until finally one day they were like, "We're really sorry, but we did this." And I was like, "No, don't be sorry about it." So it was an all-day show. A bunch of artists came, donated their time, played, and all the donations went back to us, which really helped. At the time, our savings got drained. Everything else, it was unexpected. So after everything had wrapped up, we decided, with a few of us out in the parking lot, we're just talking, and we're like, we could do this every year. And with the intent of raising the funds to get instruments for kids that can't afford them. And that way we keep Sam's name alive, we help the community out, and that was it. So towards about October, we were getting ready to ramp up, like, okay, when are we going to do this show to do this? And then the administration changed, things started changing, and here we are. It was probably, I want to say, around March, we were like, we got to change direction. We've got to save the arts, we've got to save this for the kids, because I know if I didn't have it when I was younger, who knows what I'd be today.
Right.
So when we started getting all this together, I was like, all right, we're going full nonprofit. Let's go. Let's do it. So April 16th is the official date that we got established as a nonprofit.
Whoa.
We're just doing the paperwork. So
Okay. So is there a story behind the name?
yeah. Okay, so this does go back to Sam. He was having an important meeting, and this was early on in our relationship. We've been together, well, totally we were together 12 years. This was probably like the second year, and we took that big step and joined our phone plans together.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's a big step.
that's a big step.
Now
So-
it really is too.
I know. So one day while he was at work, I went in on his caller ID and changed his name to Green Eggs and Sam. So he had been calling for this meeting, kept calling. Finally had the meeting set up, and the day he goes in, the guy goes, first thing off the bat, you do realize your name is Sam Green Eggs when you call. He had no idea. So he took it and ran with it and ended up doing his solo music project as Sam Green Eggs.
Okay, I
So.
love that. So JR wanted to put in here, if you've ever seen Judge Judy, you can watch the episode 9 Phones and 1 Deadly Dick Lover. And that will tie you into the story of the break that JR and myself had. So if you guys haven't seen it,
I haven't.
you can look it up if you want. You can see what he's really like.
Wow. Fictitious. So Jordan.
It's what he was like back then, not now.
Yeah.
True. Okay, I will give you that, because if he got me for 9 Phones again, I tell you what, we'd be having some problems. You really would be walking home from California next time.
Oh well. So Jordan, tell me like what brought you into this. Like what moment in life made this possible for you to be a part of?
Well, Lisa had reached out and told me that, she really, established the idea that she wanted to do this. And with, me playing music in, the local scene, playing with Sam, me, Sam, and Lisa started working on a few covers together. And, music was always a big part of my life, so in any way that I could get involved with it, whether it was music that I played or didn't like to play, I just wanted to do something. So with, all the changes that have been happening in the school systems and stuff like that, I've got a 9-year-old son and I got a 4-year-old daughter, and, both of my kids really love music, and it scares me knowing that they're going to start going through school and there's not going to be any art programs, no music, they're kind of getting shut out of all of that. And I wanted to make sure that, if I could, then I could help, make a difference in that.
And I like that, because my thing is, every kid should have a choice to go be in the chorus group, the
Yeah.
symphonic band, marching band if you're coordinated, or be a flag person or whatever they call them now. You should be able to do something like that because my sister was a drum major of our high school all 4 years.
Oh.
Something that was kind of unheard of. And she was first chair with the flute and then first chair with the piccolo later on. And by the time she finished school, she had mastered every instrument in that band. Now, later on in life, didn't do so well, but,
Didn't keep up with it.
but she didn't keep up with it the proper way, but she can read music.
Yeah.
She can hear something and tell you when it's out of tune.
And the biggest thing to remember is you guys grew up in a large community, like a large school system. You're what, 4 or 5 A schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of schools in this area are single A. So, like where I went to high school, I think I barely had 60 some people in my graduating class.
Yeah.
I know we had less than 100, but it was like 60 to 70. And so I think that's where the most suffrage is from, is your smaller schools. I'm not saying that the larger schools don't suffer. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just feel like it's a bigger impact on the
Yeah.
smaller schools, and especially if it's in your area and you're passionate about those things, it makes it that much harder. So can you kind of explain for anybody new, like what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
are they shutting down the music and programs and stuff like that? Are they trying to? Or that's what I want to make sure everybody's clear on, and why that this part is so important.
Well, especially around this area, I'm not going to point fingers at
Right.
anybody because we want to be the solution to this. But essentially, there's some cuts being made. Funding isn't coming through anymore. Budgets are over. They have to look for places to cut.
Right.
They can't cut an English class.
Right.
They got to cut an art class, or they got to cut a music class, or a whole program in some cases. We have some programs that are on the chopping block to be completely gone.
Right.
Now there are still some that are hanging tough, and we're really hoping that they stay there. But if that, for some reason, we want to have that place for the kids to be, so they can keep doing it. If marching band gets cut, for instance, I don't even think that's on the block, but if it were, those kids wouldn't be able to collectively come together and learn what it means to be a team,
Right.
to make a piece of music work. So that's really what we're driving.
Okay. So basically, where the school systems aren't getting the funding, you guys want to be able to help raise money to help the school systems
Absolutely.
keep these programs going.
Yeah, and if it can't be during school, let it be after school,
Right.
or let us do it during the summer.
Okay.
Whatever way we can do it, we want to do it.
So some type of program, whether it's involved with the school or not.
Right. We
Right.
still just
It's-
want to be able to make sure that they have that outlet that they should be allowed to have.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, they should be able to, express themselves in any way that they want to.
Right.
And if all these programs are getting cut, what options do they have?
Right.
So
And I
we
just
want to make
wanted
sure
to.
that we can be an option.
Right. I wanted to make sure everybody listening understood that, because I don't 100% fully understand everything. So I like it when it's kind of basically it's
She was about to
explained.
make a new word.
No, basified. Yeah.
Basified.
Well, I didn't want to say dumbified because that's not what
You wanted to be
I
more
mean.
specific.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I like about it too, in your goal and your message, you didn't do one thing that a lot of people do. Because y'all could have done one thing and just said it easily and killed everybody. Real simply, we're saying let's cut something in athletics.
Yeah.
Because that's where we think that we can get our cuts. In some programs, we should take a little money away from them. I agree with that. But you all said something that was amazing. Intramural. When you do things intramurally, and you can do this on a high school level just like they do in college, intramurally, like what you all are going to do for people, can still bring that upon these kids. And it can allow these kids to go off to college and do this on that level. Because there's NIL money in college
Right.
for the marching band. What
Which, if you don't know that, make sure you check it out because there's always options. I just learned that from JR this week that I don't know if it's all schools, but there are some schools that offer NIL money for marching band, and then probably video gaming and other activities that you might not have the extra funding for.
Right, and the one thing that I want to be preserved, and what I hope that you can all help, is the symphonic band. In my hometown of Lynchburg, Virginia, our symphony performed their last show last night.
Oh wow.
to close a symphony that my sister played in, the bands even played in, this really hits home with me because I played a little trombone here and there, but I was able to be in band and play sports and be academic at the same time. And I'm not saying that made me any better than anyone else, but it gave me a good round way of citizenship because with music, and I want to ask you all this one question, it's something spiritual for me. When I hear a riff, I know Sam probably had a riff that he could do that just wrap you around him. And I know you can probably have a riff, and I know that you have a riff yourself, Brian, that...
He's pointing to our artist that's going to be
Yeah,
going on here.
and you too, ma'am. There's a riff that gets you going. Some people it's Eddie Van Halen. Some people Eric Clapton. Robert Plant.
Maybe.
Okay. Depending on who you are. And there's other ones. I'm not gonna say Slash because that's just too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other accomplished guitarists and different things. Even somebody on the drums. Some people on the drums, not everybody. But it's something about music. Music touches every sense. Reading a book doesn't do that. I can't taste a book.
You can.
Well, see, you are going. Yeah, you can taste the book.
You can taste a book.
I mean, it tastes like paper.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, exactly. You can get some type of like ink poisoning if you eat too much. Haven't you seen that Grey's Anatomy episode?
No.
But anyways, you are going to upset a lot of people like for that because there are people that absorb themselves into books. That's
Their
their
escape.
getaway, their escape. Yes.
Well, let me recant that statement.
I
and
understand.
I'll say
I
that.
understand what you're saying, but that's you. You are not invested in books, and that's okay. You don't have to be.
All right, I'll recant that and say it like this: the arts.
There you
The
go.
arts. That's what you're all
Yes.
trying to help everything in the broad
Yeah.
spectrum.
Right.
All right, Stacey, you got more questions? Go ahead.
See, we've like jumped everywhere. We've tied in some of these questions with questions, and I like how it flows like that. So we're good. Has there been any local cuts that made you want to be like, we've got to get this going faster?
Well, just honestly hearing that some of the elementary schools may be losing their music teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, so music completely gone from an elementary
No
school.
more recorders?
No more recorders, no more.
And see, like that's a little escape for those kids, to-
Right.
To give them a break from all of the learning.
Right.
Like you can't just throw all the kids in the gym and expect them to like run around.
Right.
Like they need to have some type of that's still a little bit of education and learning, but to have a little bit of fun that's not math reading.
Right.
Because you know, the kid that doesn't know 2 + 2 is 4, like might be struggling because they're not catching on. So doing that little artsy thing might be a little bit better for them.
Right.
I didn't realize it was already that young.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we're up on the block. Complete like choir is being gutted.
Okay.
Theater, I've heard that there's being cuts from there. Right now we have the marching band and the concert band, but the jazz band could be cut. Music theory isn't offered in our courses here. I mean, you think about it. I think back to my senior year of high school. I was able to take music theory, be ready to go to college to continue music. And I was also in the jazz band, in the marching band, in the concert band, you know? And it just hurts me, myself,
Right.
hearing that that's just being taken away. And it's not anybody's fault other than there's just not funding.
Okay.
So,
What is the biggest impact that you guys hope to have with going through with this?
well, you guys have got to see Elkins a little bit. You
Yes.
can see that it's very art driven.
Yeah, it's got culture.
It does. Where that's going to end is if these kids don't have the ability to do it.
Right.
So the impact is we want those next kids to come paint these next sides of buildings. We want them to have the ideas. I want
With
to write.
permission.
Yes.
No tagging.
We
Yes.
want them to write the next great play and direct it themselves and do it and have that ownership and that ability to do this.
So you want the kids to be successful.
Yes.
Like that is the biggest thing that you guys have to get out of it.
I mean, sitting right here, there's 3 kids in elementary level that is the future. We want them to have that ability.
Right.
And who knows how long before, my 4-year-old gets to school and there is no music. And,
Right.
the only music education she gets is
What you
at
teach her.
home. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's that's what makes it most impactful for me, because I was a big part of choir, I was in band, and I have a connection with these programs, and then to see that my kids won't be able to have that connection, that's what really drove me to get involved with it.
Okay. Let's see. So, are there any stories that have given you guys like a big impact already to know that you're on the right path? Like, has somebody came up and been like, I love what you're doing, keep going? Like, what is the most impactful story that you guys have had so far?
I mean, the little bit of time that we have actually been out in public, we're already over 500 followers on our Facebook page. We've got some businesses and stuff that have been on board, ready to make those donations.
Okay.
They put some pledges out. We can't mention who they are yet.
Right.
Right.
But
make sure you keep in
Yes.
line with their Facebook page, the Green Eggs Foundation, to find out who they are, especially if they're
Yeah.
a business that you support too. Make sure you give them a little extra support because they're willing to help out.
yeah. So with that, I mean, a lot of those people have came out and they're like, my kid, this is so important to my kid, or my kid went through these programs. We're hearing all the same stories, and we know that we're aligned with what this could be and what this ultimately will be.
Okay. So whenever the time comes and you guys are able to put that recognition out there on their Facebook page, don't forget those positive encouragement, those positive reviews, the words of wisdom and stuff that you want them to know. Make sure you tell them the positive stuff too, because a lot of times we forget and we only make the comment of negativity. So make sure you're sharing with them that you love their story and how it's helped you, or if you know of an instance where they can help or be better at something, do it in a nice way. Be that positivity that they could use, and share it with your family and friends and community, and make sure you're helping in the best way possible too.
We need the criticism, because
Yes.
unless we know what's needed
Right.
and all that, we only have the direction of what we see.
Right.
But that might not be what's needed. So
Right.
we need that community.
Someone else's way might work just a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you guys just didn't realize it.
Yeah.
So it's always, like we said, the positive encouragement is welcome.
Right.
Like even in a negative, but nicely.
Yeah, engagement is key on social media.
Yes.
And I know in their future aspirations and stuff, they'll be moving over probably to Instagram, Threads,
Oh yeah.
and definitely TikTok, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and everything there. Another thing that you all can do is when you're liking and sharing, when these artists that are going to be built on this next bit that we're going to talk about, support them too. The artists that we are going to have all with us today, you can support them too. Supporting can be monetary, but the other support that everybody needs is this crucial engagement. This engagement pattern is very simple. A like and a share go way further sometimes than the 99 cents you pay for the song on iTunes, because they're only going to see 15 cents of it. I mean, truthfully.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that like and share will encourage a different demographic or a different area that they can't reach, because, I'm not going to call social media anything crazy or anything, but social media has algorithms. They put us down certain roads. They don't let us go on a linear expression. They have us going like this, and then sometimes they just have us going down. So definitely please support this group. And one thing I need y'all to do for me on this shameless plug this time.
Okay.
We're going to go with Jordan this time. This is what we need real quick. We need the core mission statement. We need a mission statement of you all, and the mission statement that you want the next group of artists creatively to be.
So, our main mission, our main goal is to just make sure that, where there are being cuts made, or things are no longer an option, everyone deserves to have an option to express themselves in whatever way works for them, and they might be able to connect with somebody else. So, we want to make sure that everyone's got that outlet. If they paint, their paintings can speak to somebody else. We want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to express themselves and then connect with somebody else who might share the same outlook about something. it's just giving everybody the same options.
Okay. Now, Lisa, for you, here's your question.
Yes.
The National Endowment Fund, we can all get a grip on it. We can write an amazing grant to get there and get that. Is that something that you all are aspiring? Sorry about the mic, everybody. Is that something that you all are aspiring to do?
Yeah, we actually have a member that just joined our board. He is a fantastic, phenomenal grant writer.
Ooh.
So we're pausing because we gotta wait for that 501c3 to come through.
Right.
But as soon as it comes, like, we're just gonna unleash and get as many grants as we can. Because I mean, we gotta find the space to do it first.
Right. And everybody in West Virginia, there's 55 counties, with the exception of Pocahontas. 54. Pocahontas, we need to get music out there in a heavy rotation out there. That's just one thing I want to throw out. That's not a jab, but Pocahontas County, we do need to work with you guys. And I'll make my plate be back out there. It's just hard to in that weird spot. Y'all know Pocahontas
Yes,
County. It's
they're
like,
our neighbors.
yeah, it's like we gotta go to Virginia, come back over, whatever. Anyway, so as far as a state, West Virginia in a national sense, when I go away from the state, sometimes we're considered a lackluster place when it comes to this stuff. But we have an amazing indie scene with music. Shout out to two areas in particular, Morgantown and Huntington.
Yeah.
I love you to death, Charleston, and my area, but Morgantown and Huntington, I want to give you all a special thanks real quick for what you do in music and how they've brought people up. Charleston, I'll give you a nice jab with the empty glass, but that's all I'm going to say. Now, going forward,
I just want to throw in there, if anybody knows of any grants that might not be local to West Virginia, but they're accepted everywhere, feel free to send them a message with the link or the
Yes.
name. Explain to them what it is before you just send the link, because you know we don't like to click on links unless we know what's going on. But I'm sure that they would be happy to get that information on some grants that they might not think of, because you know we are in West Virginia and it's a pretty small state, but you know there might be other stuff out there that they don't know about.
yeah, and also Mountain Stage, y'all are our NPR music podcast.
We would love to talk to you.
They're right here. They're right here. So, I'm sorry I jumped in an extra
No,
question,
you're fine.
but y'all know I'm this journalistic
I
type guy.
mean, it gets if it's flowing, ask.
Yeah.
All right, so for a person that has no attachment to this area, because I'm a transplant from Virginia,
Yeah.
so a transplant comes here and sees that the music scene is not as adequate as it would be in a place like Richmond, Virginia, or something
Yeah.
like that. How would you tell them to support you all right now? And I need both of y'all's answer.
Well, I mean, right now we do have some great local artists. We
Okay.
do. There's very few places that you can go catch them though. So my biggest thing is you can honestly come around, as you can see in Bird's House of Donuts right here. They have flyers on their windows constantly supporting music and arts and everything. So if you take a stroll through town, you'll find where to find them. But you can also look on Facebook too. There's places where you can just join a page and you can see what's going on. I feel like the arts are well, but we're going to make them better.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about your guys' big event.
Ah, the first announcement.
Yeah. Would you like to go ahead and jump into that? Tell us what it's called, and let's see, how's he have this worded? So you guys already have the date and everything. So if you'll just give us what it's called, where it's going to be, if you know where it's going to be,
Yep.
dates, anything that is important that you want our listeners to know, and why they should come out and support you guys.
But before you do that, I need you to do it in your best radio advertisement voice.
Jordan.
Saturday.
Yeah, there you go, just like that.
October 18th.
I don't have a radio voice, but October 18th at our VFW, they are so great. We are having the first annual Elkins Fright Night fundraiser for the Green Eggs Foundation.
Okay.
So this thing is booked full of some of the best artists, if not the best artists in our area. and we've got 2 stages going on. There's going to be food there available to get. This is what we hope to be the premier adult Halloween party every year.
Okay. So are you guys fully booked, or are you accepting people still to perform?
No, we are booked.
You're booked. Okay. So if this is successful, I mean, even if it's not 100% successful, and you wanted to help out at the next fundraiser, make sure you shoot them a message too, because they'll get you on the list and they'll contact you whenever they're able to set up a new fundraiser.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And audience fundraisers are a hard thing to do because
Yes.
you have to plan these things almost a year, 18 months out, and you have to always work on the idea of subject to change
Yep.
and weather.
Yes.
Even if you're inside a venue, because people can wreck on 79. If it was 77, I'd say a different story. 77 safe. And we have an artist
Yes.
that you brought to us, and Jordan, thank you for being on the show.
Wait, I'm not done with the.
I know. Well,
with the
I'll
event.
give you, well, thank you first.
Okay.
I'm giving you that one thing I want to give you all is a quick little testimony that we do on West Virginia and Common Place. And it's one simple thing. You're West Virginians, you're here.
Yes.
You have pride, you love the state.
Yes.
That is what we want to pass along to everyone. Doesn't matter if you're from here, because I'm a transplant, but
Same.
it's in my blood, you know. Princeton, West Virginia, shout out to, I know I'm rocking the table. I can't help it. But,
You can keep your hands to yourself.
but, you know, this place has history. We have Brad Hazel, we have Bill Weathers, we have all kinds of musical artists that we could go down the line.
Yeah.
We invent music here,
Yeah.
and we're still going to do that. You all are going to still do it. I'm not going to do it because I don't like music,
Right.
but we have a young man that you'll get to introduce that you
Yeah.
told me about, and we'll do it. I'm messing up today. I'm sorry.
Sit
So
on your hands.
that's what I like. That's what I like to call JR Squirrel moments.
Okay.
He gets completely off topic and changed it. I want to go back to the fundraiser.
Yes.
All right, go
Yes.
ahead.
So, like, what else are you going to have? Like, are you doing food? You're doing prizes, games, anything like that?
We have a few things up our sleeves. We haven't been able to 100% confirm, but
Okay.
we do know that there will be a photographer there, so you get some chances to get a nice professional photographer,
Okay.
like photo. Bands are going to be going from like 4 p.m. all the way to 11-ish.
Okay.
We're going to say ish because we might run over.
If things are going great, you might as well keep going as long as
Right.
Subject to
you and your
change.
artists
Right.
like together.
It's going to be completely decorated out. We haven't really discussed the theme just yet. We were
Gotcha.
just getting all that done.
But they will post all that information on their
Yes.
Facebook page, so make sure you are following the Green Eggs Foundation on Facebook.
Yes, and it's just going to be a lot of fun because we know we're raising the money for the kids. We're trying to get this space, and as an adult, I'm sorry, sometimes around Halloween you don't really get to do much.
Right. So if, let's say there's a business out there that wants to sponsor a part of this event, how do they do that for you?
Well, they're going to reach out to us first.
Okay.
We
Email
do.
or Facebook?
They can do either.
Okay.
They
What's
can,
your email address?
thegreeneggsfoundation@gmail.com.
Okay.
We do have a website in the works,
Okay. Great.
that will be released on Facebook.
Taking time,
Um,
giving the issues.
We-
It's all right.
We have multiple different levels of sponsorship for this.
Okay.
They can sponsor a band, they can sponsor a stage. One business has made a pledge to sponsor the sound. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that come along with that because one thing that we're really good at is this whole group of us have all promoted shows,
Yep.
we've promoted businesses. You're going to get your name out there. If you want it out there,
Right.
tell us.
Yeah, so make sure, and you don't even have to be local
No.
to their area. If you're in a little small town that you know your city or county is struggling with the arts and it hits home and it resonates with you, they'll get your name out too. Like you can be in Texas or Oregon or California or something, as long as you know you're passionate about this like them and you're willing to sponsor anything with them, some type of whatever, send them a message. I'm sure they would be more than happy to be working with you.
Right, because some of the same issues that we face here, you're going to find the same issues everywhere.
Right,
You know,
right.
So,
It's just not a West Virginia. It's not only a West Virginia thing.
right.
Yeah.
So we definitely, encourage people from, anywhere.
Mhm.
If they want to get involved, they feel passionately the same way we do. We definitely want them to reach out.
Yes.
Anything else that we forgot? forgot to ask about the event that you want to mention, or?
I mean, we can go over some of those acts that are going to be
Yeah,
there.
that one.
And then we'll make sure we put those acts down at the bottom of like the ones that are 100% confirmed. And
Oh, everybody's
Okay.
confirmed.
Yeah. we'll make
everybody's
sure you guys get that list down at the bottom, because if quite a few of them already have a social media presence, so they
Oh,
can
yeah.
check them out beforehand. So that way you can give them support too by following and keeping up with their content.
And the video version of this and audio version, when it's all done and all throughout the production, we do have some artists that did video responses. We had one that did a text response.
Yeah.
That'll definitely work out. And we have an in-house artist with us right now.
Yeah.
You know, so we're going to have a lot going on with that through the show. In the show notes, we'll have some things. We'll have links to Spotify. Spotify is where we want people to go. I love Apple, but come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to be honest, Apple Music's just a topic I'll cover later on down the road.
Okay, so do you want to give us a couple names and then we'll bring?
Yeah.
Let's do the lineup.
So we'll go through it really quick. Me and Jordan are actually in a band that is playing on it. Yeah. I'll let him talk about us.
Yeah, so we decided to settle on the name Dissonant because of where our musical backgrounds are so different. You know, we're trying to find different ways to blend, you know, my rock and heavy metal stuff and with her more so like acoustic, indie, and, you know, because her side of her music taste, I don't know anything about it.
I mean, are you saying like she likes Joni Mitchell type? Or we're going back that far with it, or?
Well, I play ukulele.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so, you know, it's kind of hard to piece a 7-string guitar with a lot of distortion with a ukulele. So, you know, it's a lot trying to figure out, you know, how to get our sounds to mix. But then, you know, we've also like sat down and we've kind of like worked on little covers together. And I think that really helped us figure out how I can blend my sound with her sound, but still, you know, have fun, be on the same path and everything.
Right.
But I think what we're going to be doing at the show is just full acoustic,
Okay.
no metal guitar, nothing like that. Just, you know, cool. But we've got a few songs that we're talking about, and we're trying to make it a really fun performance for everyone to come and see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's-
going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be different.
Because we are different.
I just want to get some clarification. You said this is an adult.
Yes, 21 and over.
21 and older. Now, if you are under the age of 21 and you're listening to this and you would like to be involved, speak with somebody over the age of 21, and then, or you can send them a message and you are, you know, they are always willing to accept the
Yes.
donations. You don't have to be 21 to help promote and
Yes.
support and donate.
Right.
And
So-
we'll come up with other events where it's all ages. I
Right.
mean, eventually we want the kids to be
Right.
involved, but
I like the idea of getting the older
yeah.
generations involved
Right.
because, not to say it rudely, but someone 40 is going to have a little more spending money
Yeah.
than someone that's 18.
Right.
And, you know, because they're still trying to get their footing and everything established.
I'm
So,
32 and I'm still trying to get established.
Yeah.
The whole thing is that this will be way better than going to a bar crawl.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because
Right.
you're going to get you got your music, you're going to everything else. I know you're going to have a food truck.
You got everything
Oh, there's
that
gonna
you're
be
gonna
food
want.
Food
there,
truck,
yeah. So I mean, there is music all across the board. There's going to be something for everybody there. That
Okay.
was one of our biggest things. Was like we need to make sure that somebody who enjoys acoustic indie music has something. We want somebody who likes metal, somebody who likes rock or punk. We have every genre represented.
I
And-
like the
yeah.
inclusivity.
Yeah, and then that's how the second stage came about. We were like, we can keep the music going. Stage 1 setting up, stage 2 can be going. When stage 2 wraps up, stage 1's ready, and go back and forth. So you're gonna have music all night long.
And you won't have to miss anybody.
No,
Right,
you won't
okay.
have to. We can talk about. Do we want to talk about all of the bands, or do we just want to talk about like spotlight a few of them?
I mean, go ahead and do everybody because I got to get.
How many do you have?
There's quite a few.
You're at 50 minutes on your time,
Okay.
so I say we start out with spotlighting a few,
Okay.
and then after we get a little more, if we have time, then she can bring in the other groups that
Yeah,
we can
okay.
talk about.
Okay, that's all.
All right, so we'll actually start with our headliner,
Okay.
which is probably one of the best bands in this area. I'm just gonna go out there. If you don't agree, kick me and tell me who's better. But that is Acid Mine Drainage from Buchanan.
Okay.
They bring this really good, fun party feel to it. I've seen them multiple times. You don't see the same show twice with them, and they always tend to surprise you. So they have the 70s feel to them, and they have like the 80s type vocalist. But somehow they just bring that all in.
Okay.
And they are just a load of fun. They can make you forget about a lot of things. And then also, with them, we actually got in touch with, well, no, let's just stop that. So,
Revisit that later.
yeah,
maybe.
we'll revisit that later. So they come from Buchanan. That area is really ramping up there too. So they know exactly what this was. When we reached out to them, there was hardly any hesitation. They were like, just tell us where to be, when to be there, we will be there. So definitely check them out.
Okay.
If not live, definitely check them out on Spotify. But then come and see them live on October 18th. Yeah.
Yes.
You'll be able to catch them a few times this summer. They're going to be playing the Homegrown Music Festival. They're going to be playing with CKY down, New River Gorge at a music festival. And then they're actually, at the end of this month, they'll be at Mythic Realms, which we'll actually have a table there, so we will be there.
Okay.
Okay.
But you'll be able to catch them there live as well. So that's our headliner.
Okay.
I'm really excited about them. They bring the energy, they bring the fun. Just come dance, get some drinks, do what you need to do.
Have a blast.
Have a blast.
Warm up a little bit.
Yeah. But also from Buchanan, our sound is coming from Pillage Sound, which they work pretty much hand in hand almost, I want to believe.
Okay.
So they'll be coming as well. And then Rock Bass, which is probably one of my favorite bands, is coming from Morgantown.
Okay.
So
So you guys have a little bit of
everything.
from a little bit everywhere, kind of.
Yeah.
Not everywhere, but a wide variety.
Yeah.
We'll say it that way.
Yeah, and I have to say that all the acts that we've reached out to do this was so on board,
Okay.
and there were a few that were sad weren't able to work it out, but maybe future
Right.
they can
Okay.
work that out.
You can't get a yes for everything.
No,
It's just not the right time.
you gotta do a code.
TikTok only lets you go live for an hour,
Oh.
and then it makes you restart it. So he'll just have to hit whatever he hits there, and then
Coffee, I
start
didn't
doing
have
TikTok.
it with the serve here.
Hey, everybody that's
I'm
watching.
You're
sleeve. No Dr. Pepper, but it's not Pepper.
Okay.
Anything else before you switch out?
No. Well, she's going to introduce
Yeah.
our next guest.
So yeah, our next guest will also be on our show.
Okay.
And I have to mention that me and another one of the board members, we made the trip over to Buchanan to catch him. And just the heart and the pureness of his music just drawing us in. And once we started getting the second stage, we were like, we know who we want.
Okay. And Jordan, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I did that earlier.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And you are the marketing genius behind this, all this.
I wouldn't say genius, but
You're the marketing.
We're going to give you that name.
that puts pressure. It's expectations.
Oh, okay.
And anything you need with PR, reach out to him.
Yes.
Yeah, over the internet, I got you.
He's the PR guy.
All right.
Well,
so. Yeah.
Time to get this introduction ready.
Yeah.
Get this guy on here. And thank you, Jordan, once again for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And when you watch this all, you will get introductions to them. You know how we do the production on things, so this will be amazing. So go ahead and introduce
Yeah, so this is Briar Williams. Totally love his music. I love everything that he has, so get it on there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for having me. And
Absolutely.
Thank you for inviting me.
absolutely.
So, Briar, can you tell us about your upbringing, where you're from, and what inspired you? Like, what was the first song you remember hearing at 2, 3, 4, 5 years old? I don't know how good your memory is. But what was the first song that brought you into I want to do music?
I don't think it's one song.
Okay.
It's probably just my uncle and my grandpa. My uncle is kind of locally famous. His name's Ryan King in the Aples. He's played all over the East Coast. Had offers to go to Chile and stuff like that. Unfortunately, he didn't take it, but yeah, just watching him as a kid, I always wanted to be like him, and he's just a huge inspiration on my life in general, and that's probably one of the biggest reasons I wanted to do music.
Okay, so let's do this. Tell us about your upbringing. You got an amazing mom that's here. She doesn't want to be on camera though.
Yeah. No, my mom has been by my side. We not always saw eye to eye on everything, but we've had our moments. But me and my father didn't see eye to eye. Always fighting. Cops called. Cops threatened to take me away from home and stuff, and she's the one who kind of stopped them every time. So growing up was really tough. Kind of. I don't know how to word it, but just really rough.
Like trivial.
Yeah,
Let me ask you this.
like even like my brother has been diagnosed with PTSD from all the fighting and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure I have it. I know she has it, and so me, her, and my brother's just kind of like a group. And
Y'all are a unit.
yeah, we're a unit. We're always back each other.
Now, I need to understand this from you because everybody has a story about the undeniable love of a parent, but the undeniable love of your mother, right?
Yeah.
For her to go with you on everything, she was even over there. She's your manager to a degree. She was telling you about a song she wants to hear you play for us in just a little bit, didn't she?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't sung that song in like 2 or 3 years, but
what I'm getting at is this.
she knows my song better than anybody, and
But the thing is like she's like a jukebox, right? She knows all your songs. But the thing was, she looked at you in the emergency. She looked right directly at you. She told you what song, and you were thinking about it. You were trying to get it back in the groove.
a little bit. Yeah.
That's something that was amazing for me to see that because you don't see that when you get to our age.
Yeah.
Moms and fathers, the children move apart. You know, so what you get with your mom is special. If no one's ever told you that,
Yeah.
whenever you get a chance, give her a big old hug and just tell her you love her because my God, when I seen that.
Yeah.
You know, I was about to ask you, can we do a trade for some Pokemon cards and some money?
Yeah.
Maybe a vehicle. Could I take your mom to be my mom?
Yeah.
He has a great mom too. He's not saying that, but he that experience is what he's saying. He needs a little bit of right now.
His mom motivates.
Right.
Yeah, she's the person. If I write a song, I go to her. She's my tester. She's my biggest critic. If I sound bad, she ain't afraid to tell me. We're straight up, just honest with everything, and she knows me better than anybody.
All right. So, what was the first song you ever wrote?
That you remember.
Well, there's one that was horrible, and I never really finished it.
What was it called?
I don't even remember the name of it.
It was that bad?
I don't even think I named it. But the song that I actually finished was called "Murdering Queen."
Can we hear a little bit of that?
I remember it.
Yeah. If you got a little bit, let's hear it in the microphone.
I need a guitar, man.
Oh, you know,
I know acapella. I didn't know acapella. What are you talking about?
You see, I cried,
that was
Joel.
going to be my question. Like, do you always play with an instrument? And
Yeah,
is it
I
always
need an
guitar?
instrument. Definitely need an instrument. It's always guitar.
Okay.
I played saxophone from 5th grade to 8th grade. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss in here, but
We don't care.
I stopped because you have to do marching band in high school,
Mhm.
and I was 500 pounds. Like, my fat ass ain't doing this shit. So I stopped. But a few years later, I ended up with that brain disease I mentioned earlier called idiopathic myocardial hypertension, called IAH for short. Basically, I have all the symptoms of a large brain tumor with no tumor present to treat. And that, when I took a few years off from saxophone and all that stuff, and when I tried to come back, it just wasn't feasible because it's a lot of air and a lot of pressure on your head.
Okay.
So I always wanted to play guitar, so I went and tried to play guitar, and that's the story, man. Right now, just
Okay.
never gave up.
No,
So let me explain something to you, because when you in your school you had marching band and then you had concert band. A lot of, from what I understand, a lot of schools in West Virginia is your marching band during football season, then your concert band after football season.
Oh,
is over.
snap.
Yeah.
Right. So
What?
it's it is all tied
Yeah.
together. You're not separate here.
Uh-uh.
Like if you're in a larger school, you might have enough students that want to do that. But if you take the Work County band for example, did you pay attention to how small their band was as
They
one of the
had
football
football
games?
players. They had football players
Yeah.
going to play the
Yeah.
band. They were
Right.
that
Right, and that's how small, and I don't want to say that's why some of the arts are suffering here, but I think that points into it as well. Like, not enough students want to participate in something like that, so they just make it one thing: marching band, then concert band.
Okay. Oh, that's wrong. Now, here's another one, and then I'll let the question go to her. What is your inspiration today to perform music?
Honestly, and this is why I'm so connected with this foundation, and I really like what they're doing for the arts, is because it's my outlet, it's my therapy, it's the way I cope with my upbringing and situations that I'm put in. My music comes from, a lot of pain and suffering and stuff like that. And I wish I had somebody or was mentally mature enough to do this sooner. And I wish, like, if a kid comes up to me today, 14, 15, and he wants to write music, I'm gonna try to lend a hand and try to help him to get that output, so he doesn't have to suffer with that pain for so much longer.
Okay,
So if you have a kid that is listening, or a parent that's listening and maybe thinks it's going to be beneficial to their kid, is there a way that they can reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I'm on all that stuff under Briar Williams Music.
Okay.
and you can do it in conjunction with Green Egg.
Exactly.
So coming from a house, you've made a home now with your mother and your brother. That's what you told us thus far.
Yeah.
Because Luther Vandross, the house is not a home without love. So tying that into taking that pain, that inner struggle, that ability that sometimes develops anxiety,
Yeah.
keeps your mental focus not where you want it to be. You're honing in now, and you conquered the big hump. Now you got to get over the little hump and the other small ones to keep going, because we both know that mental processes are the continual thing. It's a daily
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Now, with the help of your brother and mother, you're out here to perform. And I just got one last question, and she's going to ask you a few more. What song are you going to perform for us, or how many songs are you going to perform for us today?
As many as you want me to. I'll try to do as many as. I know Lisa asked me to do something that is very personable to me, and I have a few in mind, but it's hard to choose because I do have a lot that's very personable and about my upbringing. It's been incredible because there's been people that come up to me, and I've made a few people cry. The place that she saw me the first time I played, it was an open mic, and one of the people who run it came up to me afterwards, and she was crying and stuff. And that's not my intention at all, but she's like, I went through that too, and it's nice to know you're not alone in that situation.
Okay.
Now, for something that you're not able, like, if somebody wants to listen to your music more and they're not able to catch it all here, like, is there a specific place that you have that, or do you have it like on your Facebook and Instagram type thing?
It's on my Facebook and TikTok.
Okay.
If you go back too far on TikTok, you'll hear me sound horrible. I've gotten better over the years.
I mean, everybody has to improve.
Yeah, but I'm working with a producer out of Bridgeport,
Okay.
West Virginia. His name is Zach McCord. He was working with some great up and comers. If you've ever heard of Charles Wesley Godwin from Morgantown, he's written several songs with him and helped recorded stuff with him. So to be able to work with him and have he co-wrote a couple of songs together and stuff, and to be able to work with him is very honoring, and I'm very happy for that. And I went in a couple of days ago to do some vocals, and then I'm going in Monday to do some vocals, and hopefully we'll have my 4-song EP out by the end of summer. Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure you stay tuned for that and follow him on all his social media handles so that way you know whenever that stuff drops.
Yeah, and that'll be on Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Okay. And will there ever be a physical CD? Will you?
I'm thinking about it. Even though it's only going to be 4 songs right now,
Yeah.
but I thought about it because I know a lot of people, vinyls are coming back, CDs are coming back.
Mhm.
So I know, I forget what band it is, but they did a cassette a couple
Yeah.
like last year. So I was like, if people want it, I mean, it'll be cheap. It'll only be like $4 or $5, but yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Well, remember, don't sell yourself short.
Yeah.
So we never want to do that. But just stay tuned for everything. He'll update everybody with what he's got going on because you're going to hear little snippets of what you're doing and what you hope to achieve in the future. And we hope to build your fan base tenfold.
Thank you guys for listening.
Now, this is the end of this part of this podcast, and I know everybody that's listening, this will work out for you because you're going to get something that's going to tingle your senses. We're going to get a 4-song set since he's doing a 4-song EP. He's doing a 4-song end up live, and we have different areas that he's performing. We're not performing anything. And she forgot her ukulele.
Yes, I'm
So-
here.
So we're going to move this show over to the sound stage.
So I do have one more question.
Okay.
Is there anything that either of you feel that we need to get out there and let them know that maybe we didn't cover? Like, I want to know, like, why, I don't know if we covered this part, like, what got you involved in the Green Wings Foundation and why it is important to you that others help participate.
Like I said before, I love what they're doing, and I wish I had that. I mean, I had band and stuff, and it was fun, but I wish I had the output that I do now, or somebody to show me how to write about my feelings or how to express myself sooner in life, where maybe I wouldn't have, held in so much regret and pain and all that stuff. And if I started sooner, who knows who I could have been now at this age, I could have started a whole lot sooner, could have had a lot more adventure in life instead of just holding in the regret and all that. So if we can help kids express themselves, and whether it's music, art, whatever it may be, who knows who they're going to be, the next generation.
Well, we will have that positivity going forward.
Yep.
We can't change what happened yesterday, but
Yep.
we can change what might happen tomorrow.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe if we can continue the conversation later, I can go over some of the programs that we're looking at, creating, of course, highlighting some of the other acts and everything. But the most important thing, especially for this right now, is no matter where you are at life, no matter your age or anything else, if you want to become a part of this, if you want to continue the arts, we're going to find a place for you. So just reach out. Just let us know.
All right.
And then can you tell us one more time, give everybody your Facebook page and your email address
Yes.
and just a quick shameless plug as JR likes to put it.
You can reach us by email, thegreeneggsfoundation@gmail.com. And you can also find us on Facebook. It's the Green Eggs Foundation. So it's pretty simple to find. But if you need help, email us. We'll help you.
So make sure you're heading on over and give them a follow, and that make sure you share their information, because just because if you don't have kids, someone else out there might struggle and suffer because of the loss of all of the arts. And it's not just music, it's everything.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to help everybody with everything and not be specific in one area. And I feel like that's a strong statement right there.
It is.
Okay, JR, you want to finish it out?
So I want to thank everybody that came on.
You're looking at the heart of the movement. Everyone that helps with the Green Eggs Foundation may not all be named here today, but their mission speaks volumes. And now, you'll hear from a few of them directly, why they fight, why it matters, and what you can do to help.
So my background in music started, real young, listening to like Michael Jackson with my mom, Matchbox 20, AC/DC with my stepdad out in the garage working on the race car. And I knew that there was something about music that spoke to me in a way that people never could. Um, and a lot of the music that I like to listen to, really personal music, something that has substance that you can really hang on to and you can find a personal connection with. Um, so with my solo music, I tried to do the same thing, but motivation dies off pretty quick. Being the only person and having no real direction, other than I know what I want to say, but I just don't know how to say it, how to do it. Um, and getting involved with the foundation, it gives me an opportunity to reach out to the same people that might be in the same spot and need motivation from an outside source that they might not have had in any other way, someone with the same understanding, um, and help them try and progress their careers or just their hobbies. Music means a lot to everyone, whether it's country music, rock music, everything speaks to somebody in some way. And that's the big thing that we're trying to do, and the real reason that I want to get involved in all of this. I didn't have a lot of people, mentors music wise, that I could reach out to, so I had to do everything by myself, and I know how much I struggled. And it'd be nice to give people, kids, the opportunity to not have to struggle in the same way. um, Give them the little foot in the door that they might need to explode their careers or their hobbies, or even if they're just going to be bedroom musicians like I am. you know um, it's nice to be able to be involved in something that can give people the outlet for it that might not have the outlet otherwise.
Okay, well, um, for me, what makes me passionate about music now, I grew up very poor and actually in Detroit. Always wanted to play instruments, wanted to be in the band. However, I was the daughter of a single mom. I was a latchkey kid. The money was never there. My mom couldn't take the time from work to take me to go do anything. So when I had kids, it was very important for me that they had all these opportunities. My daughter's in the band. She did theater. She did choir. She did everything. And now I'm raising my granddaughter, and everything's been taken away. So it's become hugely important to me. It's definitely something that I feel is important for her mental health and well-being, and it's something that the whole community needs to get involved in. Now, with raising my granddaughter, she's 4 years old. Music is just so important to her. Her heart is so big and it's so full. But if she's angry, she'll start spitting out some lyrics at us. If she's kind of having a ho-hum day, I just put on some music, and this child just burst with life. And it's just something that I just hate to see that go away. And this is a way for everybody in the community to pull together to make sure these kids have what they need, to make sure they have the outlet so they can express everything that they're feeling in a safe, comfortable environment. So I'm proud to be part of it, and I'm really hoping we can get everybody in the community, not just our local community, from Maine to Washington, to get involved so that these kids have that safe place to express themselves through music and the arts.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Poling. My history in music is I played flute and piccolo in high school band. And I didn't pursue that in college, but then years later, I actually became the manager of a heavy metal band that was around here called the Backwoods Massacre. And Sam was the bass player in that band, and that's how I met Sam. And from managing, I also went on to promoting and putting on music shows for local musicians. We had an awesome gentleman named Captain Ron that owned a bar that actually let me put on an all ages music show for younger kids, like teenagers, and they got to play a show. We did it during the day, but I see that band and music, it brings people together. You know, it teaches kids discipline and responsibility and camaraderie, and every kind of art does this for our kids. And we need that. You know, with everything going on with, you know, losing funding and stuff, what we wanted to do was become part of the solution. And that's what the Green Eggs Foundation's all about.
Hi guys, it's Lisa from the Green Eggs Foundation. JR is awesome and he's letting me do this quick video. I forgot a couple of the acts during the podcast. So Shapeshifter will be playing the Elkins Fright Night show as well. You can look their music up on their Facebook. We will have links on our main page of the Green Eggs Foundation on Facebook. Also, Jason Romanis from Pittsburgh, PA will be playing. We're so excited to have him. He's working on a couple of movies now. But he also wanted to make mention that he wants an animal bridge like a freak. Look it up. And then we will be part of the Tacos, Tats, and Taps downtown block party on June 28th. There we will give ukulele lessons. We can make friendship bracelets. We'll have a couple of games set up for the kids. It's going to be a great time. Also, definitely make sure that you guys check out these amazing acts this summer. Acid Mind Drainage is doing big things. Briar Williams is doing big things. Wish Awake's doing big things. Devil Pill's doing big things. Blight Year. I mean, there's so many out there. And definitely tell them the Green Eggs Foundation sent you. They'll be happy to meet you. As always, we look forward to meeting you, and peace.
Now, let's shine a light on another powerful part of the Green Eggs Foundation, the bands and artists who bring rhythm, soul, and energy to this mission. These aren't just musicians, they're advocates, educators, and champions of the arts, using their talents to inspire and uplift. Through every chord, every lyric, and every performance, they're helping to keep creativity alive in our schools. Whether they're playing to raise funds, awareness, or just putting smiles on kids' faces, they're part of the heartbeat of this foundation. Let's meet the artists using their voices to make a difference.
Hi there, this is Cannon from Rock Bass. We're an alternative rock band out of Morgantown, West Virginia. And we're super excited and really honored to be playing at the second annual Sam Green Eggs Foundation Memorial Show. The foundation's goal is just a very important one, especially here in West Virginia. The arts and music in particular have been a huge part of our lives, and ever since we were kids, it's just so important for kids to have that creative space and that freedom. It's something you can take with you for the rest of your life and just provide you so much happiness and so much joy. So we're happy to be able to do our small part, and we will see you there at the show in Elkins on October 18th. See ya.
How did Rock Bass come together, and what's the story behind the band name? Is the fish or the frequency?
We get that question a lot. That's why we named our last album Like the Fish. The band started like back in 2009. I was living in Richmond, Virginia, and me and Kevin were out fishing, and he was living in Morgantown, and I was moving back, and we were trying to think of band names, and he said, okay, next fish you catch, that's going to be the band name. So I caught a Rock Bass, luckily. Luckily it wasn't like a trout or something.
I've never heard this story.
Yeah, that's how we named the band. That's it. All right.
Sweet.
Morgantown has a growing music scene. How has being based there influenced your sound and opportunities as a band?
Well, the good thing about Morgantown is there's a lot of music going on all the time. So we have a lot of friends who play in bands, and we go and see them regularly and hang out with them and listen to what they're doing, and maybe that influences some. And we have them come and jam with us occasionally and even contribute to our recordings. So it's good to have a big community around.
Yeah, just the last month we've had two of our friends come for different bands, Weird Space Wonder, and is that the only band? Yeah, Kevin and Jim from Weird Space Wonder, and play on our new album. So you'll hear them in a few months. Who are some of your biggest musical influences, and how do they show up in the songs?
Jeez.
Well, for you, it's definitely Zeppelin, right?
Yeah, there's Led Zeppelin, but I hate to get totally tied down on John Bonham.
It's not bad. That's a good one to be tied down to for a drummer.
Yeah, everything classic rock for me. Anything, even though I'm a drummer, I'm a sucker for a melody. So anything that's melodic, I'm influenced by those drummers.
And as a songwriter, like my favorite bands are definitely the Beatles, Weezer, Elvis Costello. They Might Be Giants, some weird stuff. Rancid. It's kind of all over the place. Classic rock too, Zeppelin. So I think a lot of that stuff comes through. We have some really melodic stuff, some harder stuff, and it's kind of a lot of genres all mixed together. What's next for Rock Bass? Any new releases, shows, videos coming out?
Well, that's all you. Did an album.
Yeah, so we're currently working on a new album. We've been working on it for a while. It's been a long process, but we're really psyched to kind of see the finish line here soon. So we're hoping to have it out by the end of the year, actually by the show in Elkins. So maybe that
we'll be playing those songs.
Yeah, we have 10 songs for the album, and we're hoping we'll probably play at least 5 or 6, I'm sure. So come to the show and you'll hear a lot of them.
Hello, my name is Jason Romanis, and I have loved music my whole life. When I was a little kid, I would listen to Michael Jackson, the Beach Boys, Boyz II Men, many others. Then I started to play music. I played the trumpet and then drums. Playing drums changed my life. Being a hand flapper, it gave me a way to move my hands in a socially acceptable way. I started playing drums in a rock band, and that changed my life even more for the better. I met most, if not many, of my friends at shows. It's a great place to be. Green Eggs Foundation is doing something phenomenal, and they're on a mission that needs completed. So you, I, and everyone should help out. You can help by saying Green Eggs Foundation out loud. Go ahead. Green Eggs Foundation. It sounds great. You can also help by coming out to a show, the show, all the shows. Come out. Help. You should. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right? When everything gets to a certain point, and say like a parent would like to get a green egg shirt, where can they go to buy this green egg shirt?
Well, we do have a current bonfire campaign going on. They're not really the greatest, but we do have some shirts on the outcome. Like, we're gonna have some available for you to purchase.
Okay. And are you planning on with the shirts? Are you gonna do like a limited run type deal? Like have certain shirts, different times, different type of colors and things like that?
Yeah. So then that way it just brings in the incorporation. Maybe this particular time we have a shirt where we're trying to raise the funds for a theater thing. We'll have a theater theme shirt, and then a music one, art one, spoken word, whatever it may be.
All right, and then one other thing. At this event that's coming up in October, will we get a Sam shirt?
We won't get a Sam shirt, but we are planning on selling an event shirt. That's also going to come and play with our sponsorships coming through, helping fund the show. So businesses, you'll be on front and center. But on the back, having everybody that was involved, played the show, all that.
But I need to know this. When are we going to get a Sam shirt? So you sent me 3 amazing pictures of him last night, and he was just rocking it out.
Yeah.
And when he had the mask on, I was like, this could have been my buddy in high school and college until he got kicked out.
Yeah. Well, he is also featured on my arm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That would probably come. We could probably do one.
I think that would be an amazing tribute, and it would just be awesome. Because
she said you had to put a pre-order of 20 in first.
A pre-order of 20?
Yeah, before she'll get it started.
All right, well, she'll get a design ready, and we'll get the ball rolling on that. And now, going further with this, are there any other initiatives or programs that you're thinking about doing, or is that all stuff that'll come later?
It'll come later, but the way that we think about it, sky's the limit.
Okay.
If kids want to learn about video game design, tell us. That's what we're here for. We'll fundraise and figure out a way to get it in so you can learn how to do it. You want to do video, you want to do movies and documentaries. We'll get together, we'll come up with the way to get the funds, we'll make it happen. We just need the input.
Okay, and that's where that engagement comes in once again. Make sure you engage. Engaging is something that, like I said, it has a higher value than monetary things. People get excited and get encouraged when we get the input of the community, so definitely do that there. Now, we got to get back over to this event, because you've got some artists on this event that you still want to talk about.
Yes.
Please let us know about them. And one other thing, we do got to give Jordan a big shout out, because like he said earlier, he will be out there performing along with you, even though he wears a Pittsburgh Penguin.
Gotta rep the whole state.
Oh, I mean, it's alright. We'll get you New Jersey Devils later.
Oh, I could Devils too. They could have chose somewhere different than New Jersey.
True on that. We can all agree on that. Don't cancel us, New Jersey.
So one of the bands that's coming in, their name is Devil Pill, and whenever let me just say, they're not that scary. At least I don't think they are. One of their members, his name is Jim, he actually played in a band with Sam back in the day. They became really good friends. They were inseparable almost, and we also had this really weird inside joke. Sam would always talk about Jim, but I never met him or saw him. So I was like, he doesn't exist, he's a ghost. Jim drove all the way to my house and said, "Hi, I exist." But they're just the great guys and everything. They just got a new drummer, so they're coming back around. They're starting to ramp up their shows. You can actually catch them June 7th in Weston at the Hello Spring. Okay. So, nice little spooky thing. They describe themselves as a psych ward-delic band.
Whoa! We might have to catch them. What is the asylum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, they're just fun. So they'll bring some of the heavier stuff that you may enjoy or want to be around. They'll bring that for you.
Okay.
One of the bands featured on the second stage will be Wish Awake. They're from Elkins.
Okay.
They've been around for a while. Two beautiful people, and they just have this light about them. They have a daughter that's in theater and stuff, so this is really important to them too. They like to play some, I don't know what, it's acoustic, but they're unique.
Okay.
But they're always a good time. They're good people to be around, so they'll be coming in. Another band that's from here in, I think it's the Buchanan area, is Blight Ear. They're going to bring you some punk.
Okay.
Yeah. They'll bring you some punk. They're fun. They're great guys. They were another one that was just immediately on it. Like, yeah, we want to do this. We want to be here. You can actually hear some of their music on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely have stuff in the show notes and links and different things to all the music.
We have an acoustic act coming from Ohio.
Whoa.
Phoenix Hale. She actually used to play here back in the day when we used to have shows over at Captain Ron's. She has a powerful voice. Also has the talent to back it up. So who knows what she's going to bring, but you're going to love everything about her. And then, yeah, we talked about this, and then Rock Bass. Now this particular band was one of Sam's favorite bands. I don't know what brought them in, but they came here and they played. And I remember Sam telling me he wanted to see them. And I was like, okay, let's go see him. He was the only one dancing. Everybody else was at the bar, but he was out on the floor dancing to him. We just loved him. When I reached out to them, they were just like, how could we not? How can we not do this? And they actually really support the cause. They know what it's about. And it's the same with the headliner, Acid Mind Drainage. Both of them were just like, music's so important. And we want to build this up and we want to make it big, so. Yeah.
Okay. Now, audience and everybody that's watching live, I want to thank you all for coming on, because we have been moving around and we got all kinds of people in the background. I want to thank Briar's mom for being so patient. She hasn't moved from her spot. Like, she tilts and turns, but she doesn't move. So, and then Briar, oh my gosh, I want to thank you for coming on. You are a delight. And you're going to be a superstar.
Thank you.
And remember, the superstar is going to make you, you're going to take care of Appalachian. And Appalachian goes all the way to Georgia. So be careful when you get down there. All right? And do that for me, because you've seen Appalachia too, Stacy. You know what it's like down there in those parts. And it reaches to New York, so be careful up there too. You know, Catskill Mountains and all that other stuff. Now, the last part that we need to do here, we need to wrap this thing up and make it how Sam wrap it up. So how would Sam wrap this up? I need you right now, you and Sam, to become one. I mean, y'all been one, but I'm saying become one right now and close the show out for us.
To be honest, he would say, show up or not. Doesn't matter. It's still happening.
And I thank you so much, Lisa, for being a part of this. The Green Egg Foundation, you'll be able to find everything in the show notes and all over social media. We'll be pumping them out there. And remember this, a like, share, a follow. Monetary contributions help, but the actual human interaction. Let's not get lost in all of this augmented reality, because sometimes we go the wrong way with things. They're humans. So be mindful and respectful of everyone that's been a part of the show and anybody that's been in the background, especially Mama. And I want to thank the establishment that we were able to come here. And this place is amazing. I want to do a quick video of it after we're done. Y'all will get to see that this evening. And I want to thank the state of West Virginia, because West Virginia brings every transplant and every person that's not from here. I mean, I'm going to be honest. West Virginia treats transplants better than its regular people. I'm just being honest. But West Virginia is a place that you should come. It's a cultural place. Music is from here. It gets inspired from the other people that come here. This is a great place to relocate to. So if you get a chance, head out in October. And then the great thing about a foundation is, in planning events, they're planning this event, but they can be planning an event for next summer. Because it takes literally this long to get this stuff into fruition, to get it going. So, Lisa, Jordan, give them your opinion. Where you want to see them at. If you want to see them in Putnam County and Hurricane, Tate Valley. If you want to see them in South Charleston. If you want to see them in, I don't know what town in Boone County, but we'll just say Boone County somewhere. Madison, that's in Boone. If you want to see them out there in Bluefield. We've got places all over West Virginia, 55 counties. If you all want them to establish something in your community, contribute, and it can happen. So on that note, I am JR, and you are?
Lisa.
And we're signing off.
From the bottom of our hearts, we want to extend our sincerest gratitude to everyone at the Green Eggs Foundation. Your unwavering dedication to safeguarding the arts in our schools is nothing short of inspirational. In an era where creative programs are often the first to face cuts, your mission to ensure children continue to have access to music, theater, and visual arts is invaluable. You're not merely preserving subjects, you're nurturing dreams, amplifying voices, and igniting the spark of imagination in the next generation. Thank you for your relentless advocacy and meaningful support of our kids. We're truly honored to share your mission and amplify your voices on WV Uncommon Place. With deep appreciation, Junior and Stacy, WV Uncommon Place Podcast.